back to another episode of Rolling the Bomb. I'm your host, Zach Moy. We're here to talk about the Firekeepers Casino 400. Breakdown stage one, it was pretty uneventful, I felt like, but it was still really entertaining to watch. We saw a great pass for the leader off the bat with Kyle Larson going 3 wide when Denny and Tyler Rent was side by side. He was able to take the lead, and Hamlin was able to clear Reddick and then chase down Kyle Larson, and it was a great battle with those guys most of the entire of stage one. And then when Hamlin was definitely faster, right, and he got to his outside, but then while that's happening, Bubba Wallace is making passes, the field's getting tighter and tighter because all Larson's doing is just aero blocking Denny, taking away his air, and then everyone just gets closer and closer because Larson's the slower one, everyone's faster, and Bubba Wallace is making some passes, and he ends up passing his teammate Tyler Reddick. And then when Denny makes the move on Larson down the front stretch, it slows both their cars, Larson and Hamlin's car, really down. And Bubba Wallace just slingshots past him. It was really impressive and entertaining as crap to watch. And then after that, Hamlin is able to end up passing Larson and go run down Bubba. And it looks like he's way faster, but it looks like he's really pushing and gets loose in turn 4, just spins out, slides through the grass, might have damaged some stuff in the underbody. But that really killed Hamlin's just chance of winning the race, I felt like, or even momentum in the race, because now who knows the damage, the handling might be off. And then we ended up having a weird strategy there where Bubba, he was the winner, he wasn't leading the race, but chose to pit, chose to be in, I guess, more of the winning strategy and sacrifice stage points, which you would think for a guy that's really on the cut line, he wouldn't be doing that, but he chose that, and that's allowed Ryan Blaney, and he stayed out and was able to take the lead and restart great and lead the final 2 laps of stage number 1 and take home the stage win. And we had pit stops, but then the rain came, the cars went down pit road, and then they ended up calling it. I guess I heard from Bob Hotris they could have ran more laps after that, but NASCAR didn't know. You can't predict the weather, so we come back to Monday, current day, and then we get going with Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch racing hard. Chase Elliott is taking the lead, and then Kyle Busch ends up passing Chase Elliott. And then we end up seeing Martin Truex later on in stage 2 pass Kyle Busch. It was entertaining. I was not able to really watch much of that stage 2 due to the fact I was at work. I was listening to Sirius XM. I was trying to follow along the best I could. But after watching highlights and stuff, it was fun to watch and just kind of go back on what the race really looked like. Then we saw a really weird sequence where we saw Joey Logano, Todd Gilliland, and AJ Allmendinger all cut down tires. AJ Allmendinger was the one that actually spun out. So that was really weird. I was worried, are we going to turn into like a Bristol situation here where tires are wearing faster than what we thought? Never really turned into that, spoiler alert. But then we ended up getting a wild restart. It was Busch and Ross Chastain. Busch was able to prevail into 1 and 2. And then 3 and 4, the so-called guy who claims he is the best driver in the world, which I agree with, just loses it on his own in 4, slides up, collects Bubba Wallace, Todd Gilliland, Christopher Bell, Chris Buescher, a bunch of contenders and playoff contenders, people that are on the bubble, especially Bubba Wallace. It was really shocking and almost shocked of this Kyle Larson just losing it. It was just wild to see Larson just lose it like that, unnatural. I mean, he has done it before, but most of the time I feel like there's been contact or he's just pushing the car, and here he just loses it completely and just takes out a bunch of people and a bunch of contenders just like that. And that would end up being the end of stage 2 with Kyle Busch getting his first stage win of the season. Wild. And then stage 3 began on that 126 with Byron and Busch. Byron taking the charge over Busch. And then a couple laps later, we saw the wildest thing we've seen probably all season. Corey LaJoie makes contact with Noah Gragson. I don't know what he was trying to do there. And then just gets sideways, and all of a sudden the air just picks that car up and it flips on his roof really fast, slides across on his roof, hits the safety barrier, and then goes into some grass, and then barrel rolls a couple times. It was wild. And then they restart after the LaJoie incident, and it was Brad Keselowski versus William Byron. William Byron got the better of Brad, and they restarted, and then the race time went by. We saw the Hendrick cars start to get 1-2 there with Elliott and Byron. It was Keselowski there in third. Gibbs, we saw Truex. We ended up then starting to see Tyler Reddick start making his way up through the pack. And this was the last 60 laps. I was able to see this, watch this live during my break for work. It was fun to watch. It was entertaining to watch. The strategy was interesting. There was 2 different halves of strategy. There was the winning strategy, and then the one strategy was a little bit off, and the other ones, they pitted early. We ended up seeing Byron. He started to struggle, fell back a couple spots. He decided to pit early, took tires, and then was able to come out and blend back onto the with all the leaders, get his lap back quickly. So when everyone else pitted, then he was able to then to take the lead back. He was going to be on a tire disadvantage as the run went longer. But then we saw another great strategy with Kyle Busch, who pitted much later than what the leaders did. He had to make his final pit stop. He gambled and took 2 tires, and hopefully it was able to blend with the leaders. And it worked flawlessly. He came out, got to a great acceleration, and took the lead. Very, very impressive. I mean, that was impressive to see him get the lead off that. Now, he was on 2 tires, and it looked like William Byron was better than him. But then William Byron struggled, and he was holding off William Byron, but then Tyler Reddick looked like he was the best car in this race. Makes a pass on Byron, and then runs down Busch pretty quickly, and then makes a move on him, and it looks like it's smooth sailing for Tyler Reddick. That's what it really looked like. As the laps continue to wind down, it looks like Reddick's cruising. He's out there with a couple of seconds, and then with 6 laps to go, Truex gets into the wall, sideways. People were not happy about that caution. It looked like a happy trigger type caution because we saw a same type incident with Austin Cindric. He got in the wall earlier in the race, and then no caution for that. But then Truex gets a little sideways, smacks the wall. He keeps rolling. He's slower, but he keeps rolling. But that's a caution. I don't know, man. I feel like, why can't we just have some natural cautions, man? And this is the whole thing. If it's not a caution on lap 12, it shouldn't be a caution at lap 6. But it just seems like NASCAR always wants that green-white finish. They always want that exciting finish. So then we had our first restart in overtime, and it's a great battle between Byron and Reddick, drag racing it down, racing hard. But then we had a wreck in the backstretch between Alex Bowman. We saw Ross Chastain get loose, come down the track, almost get airborne, and then slide across into the grass. Really ruined his day there. Disappointing. Also, Alex, and he had some damage there too. Alex Bowman, excuse me. And during all that, William Byron was ahead of Tyler Reddick. Whatever scoring loop they were in, he was ahead. So he got to choose. He chose the outside, and they restarted. It looked like the outside stacked up big time. Byron lost a ton of momentum, and that allowed Reddick to beat him on the inside, which the inside usually hasn't been that dominant. It's still dominant, but it's not as dominant on the outside because usually the leader has the outside momentum that really helps him. But due to the bad restart Byron had, Reddick is able to clear and set sail for the final 2 laps. No one wrecks. Tyler Reddick gets his 2nd win of the season in a McDonald's scheme. Really cool. Great win for him. He needed this, and now he is the regular season points leader by 10-plus points. So that's big for him over Chase Elliott. We run down our top 15 finishers. Tyler Reddick first, William Byron second, Ty Gibbs third, Kyle Busch fourth. Top 5 finish for Kyle Busch was big. Now, he still needs a win, but that's going to be a good momentum field for him. 5th, Keselowski, good. 6th, 2 top 10s for RFK, great right there, back-to-back 5 and 6th place. A top 10 finish for Zane Smith might be his 2nd best finish. Top 10, though, for Zane Smith and Aspire cars, big deal. 7th, 8th, Daniel Suarez. Another top 10 for Daniel Suarez, that's big. Denny Hamlin, 9th, after spinning early in stage 1, was able to rebound, even though he had a little bit of damage in the underbody of that car, so great rebound for him. 10th, Carson Hocevar, another top 10. That's 2 top 10s for Spire, and Corey LaJoy ends up on his roof. So sad. Ryan Preece, 11. Noah Gragson, 12. 2 top 10s for Stuart Haas. 13. Ricky Stenhouse. 14. Harrison Burton, top 15 for Harrison Burton and the Wood Brothers. And then 15th for Chase Elliott. He had a really bad last lap. Got into Ryan Blaney, lost much momentum. Not sure what was going on there. Blaney ended up finishing 18th from that. Martin Truex finished 24th. Bubba Wallace, 26th. 27th, Alex Bowman. Joey Logano finishing 32nd. Kyle Larson, 34th. 35th, Christopher Bell. 36, Ty Gillen. A bunch of those guys are all involved in wrecks. That's why they're finishing so poorly. We put this race on the Rolly rate, man. I thought this was a really good race, man. Multi-Groove Michigan was fun to watch. I mean, I felt like guys could get runs on each other. They could set each other up for the next turn and slingshot past them. It was fun. It was entertaining. Multi-Groove. Dirty air was still a factor. I mean, you could still aero block a lot. But if your car was fast enough, you could make a run. You could make passes on them if your car was better. So I really enjoy that. Michigan's a great place. It's the only track we go well over 200 miles at. So it's nice to see the cars go fast. I kind of missed that. I missed that 200 mile per hour thing showing up on the screen. So it's great to see it here. It's a cool track, cool place. It was a sold out infield camping. Great crowd on Sunday. Stinks that they were not able to see the rest of the race on Sunday, and a lot of them had to go home and not be able to come back for Monday. I really enjoyed watching it. It was a good race, and now we're coming down to two more 2 races left in the regular season. Daytona and Darlington. I'll be at Darlington. I'll be camping in the infield, so looking forward to that. But Daytona, it's going to be wild. Well, congrats to Tyler Reddick again. Hope we all enjoyed today's episode. Besides that, goodbye.